Nation, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share. Really means a lot to me. Plus, ad free right now on my channel, so you get nothing to lose. Not even gonna waste your time with ads. How about that? I got a question today via text, which people can still do. 949-415-6256. I might make a video out of it. This is actually a very common question that you will receive in an interview when you're transitioning from a CRC to a CRA role. So let me just read you the text. Hey, I would like your input if possible. I had an interview for a clinical trial associate role at a CRO, and now I have a panel job interview in a few days for a sponsor CRA position. I have been a CRC for over 4 years, and I would like the CRA role, but I'm just trying to transition from site and make the move over to other side of the industry. So sounds like either the CRO or the sponsor would be appropriate. I have continued to watch your videos for a few years now, and thank you. Look, I really appreciate it. Thank you for reaching out. When reviewing and preparing scenario type questions, so this is like they are referencing the STAR, situation, task, action, and response, or situation, task, action, and result. The R and STAR is up for debate. I'm sure there's people that will correct me, but just know them both. When reviewing and prepping scenario type questions, how do I go about answering them when I have no actual CRA experience? I was asked the other day two questions. Tell me a time when you had to deal with a difficult PI and how did you handle it? So, you don't have to be a CRA to have dealt with a difficult PI. And by the way, a difficult PI does not care, by definition, if you are a CRC or a CRA because he or she is difficult. So it doesn't matter who you are, they're going to be difficult with everyone at some point. So this is what's called a transferable skill. This is the perfect opportunity. Just because you have no experience as a CRA with a difficult PI doesn't mean you don't have plenty of experience dealing with the difficult PI as a coordinator. I have difficult PIs throughout my whole career. I've been doing this 20 years. I can draw upon, and even if I only went back 4 years ago, and 4 years is pretty simple. It was the year before I moved to Yuma. And so I had a difficult PI back then before I moved to Yuma. And while none of my PIs are difficult now, they all have difficult moments and they all have different nuances. So, what you want to do is really draw upon your experiences that you've had. There's no way you've been a coordinator for over 4 years and not have maybe not the PI being difficult as a character trait, but maybe the PI has had moments of being difficult. I'm sure you've had moments of being difficult. I'm sure anyone watching has had moments where they've been difficult. So, yes, PIs are humans. How did you deal with it? One recent example for me is a sponsor keeps wanting to do a Zoom conference with my PI, and it's actually a medical director, and my PI has been out of the country. It's also been the holidays, but even when he gets back, he's so behind on all his other work that he doesn't really give me a definitive answer. And even if he does, I have to chase him down and I have to send a staff member to actually babysit him and schedule the Zoom call, but babysit there, hover around him at the office so that he doesn't miss the Zoom call. That's how I handled it, and they want to see a similar response. There is no right answer in this case. They want to see transferable skills. Now remember, if you are going to be a CRA, you're going to be dealing with PIs that need to do all kinds of things. Hey, doc, you got to sign off on the EDC. So probably a even better situation if you can draw upon your experiences is think about the last query lock or database lock that you had to do with your PI. Those are never easy. I don't care if you have the most pleasant PI in the world. Those always have some difficult situations arise. So maybe use that as an example because a database lock for a CRC is just as stressful for that CRA. Same database lock, CRC is stressed out, CRA is stressed out. Oftentimes both of them are dealing with the same difficult PI. So maybe that's a perfect example of a transferable skill and a situation. And how did you resolve it? How did you complete the database lock on time? Another one is tell me a time when you had to work with someone you didn't like. And so this anyone who's worked 4 years or more, it won't even take that long, but 4 years or more at any place, you're gonna have worked with people you don't like. Maybe not necessarily your coworkers, but maybe derivatives of your coworkers. So maybe contractors from the company. Maybe as a CRC, you've dealt with a difficult CRA. I know I have. I've had two CRAs now in my 20 years that brought one of my CRCs, two different CRCs on two separate occasions, to tears. And I had to deal with that as the site director. So if this was me, I would bring that up. Actually, it was three occasions by three different CRCs and CRAs. Crazy, but it's 20 years. So if you had 4 years, I mean, maybe you didn't have like as emotional an example as mine, but you certainly worked with difficult people. And as CRAs, you're gonna, they're asking because as a CRA, you're gonna deal with a higher number of difficult people because you're not just going to one site like you do as a coordinator every day. You're going to one site, and then you're going to another site, and then you're going to another site, then you're going to another site. Those are the external people you work with. And now you have the internal people you work with. Here's my study startup specialist. Here's my clinical trial administrator. Here's my lead CRA. Here's my line manager. Here's my project manager. You're gonna work with difficult people. So, what are some strategies that you use to work with these people? And in my case, I wouldn't know how to really answer it. Haven't thought about it prior to this video, other than I get the job done and I try not to lose my cool and I try to remember the ultimate outcome, the desired outcome for this study, which is, whatever our goal was, randomize 10 patients, or answer queries or finish database lock, whatever the case may be. And so always bring it back to the bigger picture, the purpose of why you're there, why you guys are both working on the same task. You guys find the common ground. Usually in dealing with difficult people, you can find common ground. Hey, we're both trying to get through this study unscathed by the FDA if they should ever audit. So let's figure out ways to work together and not against each other. And just communication. That's my strategy, but perhaps you've had something different slash better. There's no right or wrong answer. They just want to see what your thought process is like. Like, subscribe, comment, share, and they ask because you're gonna be dealing with difficult PIs as a CRA, and you're gonna be dealing with difficult colleagues as a CRA. Bye bye.